She wasn't chasing the wrong life. She was chasing the right one for the wrong reasons, and it slowly emptied her. Shayla, 29, rotated her head and shoulders, attempting to loosen the muscles in her neck. She had been working herself to the bone, and it was showing. But with her father soon to announce his successor, there was no way she could slow down. That's why she rushed over to her parents' house with the latest reports showing that the changes she made last quarter are resulting in a 15% increase in profit margin. She hoped that this was proof enough to convince her father that she was ready. Should he choose her, she'd become the youngest and first woman CEO in the company's history. It would be the culmination of everything she had worked for her entire life. After popping 2 extra strength Tylenols, Shayla glanced at her reflection in the rearview mirror and fingered a few loose strands of hair, then gave herself a little pep talk. No one deserves this more than you. It's your destiny. Using her key, Shayla let herself into her parents' home. The smell of bacon hit her nose. A growl from her stomach followed. When was the last time I ate? She thought, unable to remember. Her father, Henry, was sitting in the formal dining room reading a newspaper, which surprised her. On the table were platters of food, the makings of a feast, including pancakes, grits, eggs, bacon, fruit, sausage, smoked salmon, and smothered potatoes. Hey, Dad. Henry put down the paper and smiled at Shayla. Oh, baby girl, I see you got your mother's message. You are right on time. What message? And what's going on? Mom hasn't cooked like this since Kendra left. Just as the words left her mouth, her mother and sister, Kendra, walked into the room holding more platters of food. As if seeing a ghost, she froze, letting her purse and report hit the floor. Kendra was back. Shayla pointed her finger at her sister. What's going on? What is she doing here? It had been 2.5 years since they had seen her. Her parents felt devastated following Kendra's overnight disappearance and her note stating, "Don't look for me." They also discovered that some of her grandmother's expensive jewelry went missing around the same time. Knowing that their father had wanted them both to run the company together threw Shayla into a panic. Kendra's reappearance was at the worst possible time. Realization hit, and Shayla's eyes ballooned. Oh, is all this food for her? She screeched, unable to mask her anger. She vanishes in the middle of the night without a word, never calls to say that she's alive, then randomly comes home, and the first thing you do is cook for her? Shayla, calm down. Mary, her mother, placed the platter on the table and stepped over to Shayla. Calm down? Mom, have you forgotten how you cried for weeks after she left? Shayla then rushed over to her father in her desperate need of an ally. Dad, why are you guys acting as if everything is okay? What about the customers that we lost because she left their accounts in shambles? Are you just going to pretend like nothing ever happened? Kendra, who was still holding the platter of waffles, stepped back. I'm sorry, maybe coming back was a mistake. Shayla turned to Kendra. That's right, go back to wherever you came from. Mary stood in front of Kendra as if she were protecting a small child. No, she is not going anywhere. Shayla's jaw dropped. It was hard to understand how her parents allowed Kendra to get away with everything without consequence, something they had been doing since she was a kid. Secretly, Shayla was happy when Kendra had left, and she hoped her parents would wake up and finally see the truth. Her father had often talked about having both his daughters run the company together, some dynamic duo bull crap, which was crazy because Kendra never cared about the company and would likely run it into the ground. But it was as if they were blind to her faults and handed her everything she wanted on a platter, while Shayla worked tirelessly at the company, even putting off dating and starting a family because it was her dream to one day run it. Unlike her sister, nothing was handed to her, and no matter how hard she tried to prove herself, there was always another hoop to jump through. Shayla turned to Kendra. You planned this entire thing, didn't you? You knew Dad needed to name his replacement, so you came back to ruin it for me. Forget this. I'm out of here. Henry rose from his chair. Sit down, everyone, right now. No one is going anywhere. Now, I've ignored this beef between the two of you long enough. It ends today. Shayla, I know you are trying to protect us, but we are a family, and one part of this unit was missing. And now that your sister is home, we are whole again. Your sister had made some mistakes, and we have forgiven her. We also acknowledge that we may have done some things wrong while raising you guys, but we only want what's best for this family. I know you don't understand because you are not a parent, but there is nothing we won't do for either of you. We are celebrating because God has answered our prayers and guided your sister home. And I know you don't believe it, but I see you, daughter, more than you think I do. Your discipline and grit. You have been responsible since you were a little girl. I recognize your dedication to our company and your ambition, but have you considered what is driving that desire? Have you asked yourself why you want it so badly? Like I said, I see more than you think. Perhaps it's time that you stop pointing your finger at your sister and look at yourself in the mirror. Shayla's eyes grew wide. So, she's a thief, but I get questions about my motives for wanting to run a company that should rightfully pass down to me? I have worked myself to exhaustion for this family, and you have never appreciated it. Nothing I do matters, and it's not fair. Shayla, you need to calm down. You need to forgive your sister and get over whatever you hold against her, or your anger will always control you. Forgive her? I get it. Why don't you just say it? You want Kendra to run the company. Ah, Shayla winced. A lightning bolt shot through her temple, causing her to bend over in pain. Mary jumped up. Baby, what's wrong? Nothing. I'm fine. Shayla waved her mother off while waiting for the pain to stop. The headaches were coming more frequently and getting worse. I'm just going to go home. Shayla bent down to grab her purse, but became dizzy. A few hours later, Shayla woke up in her childhood bedroom, no longer dizzy, but with a lingering headache. Her body felt weighed down, so she lay there for a while, looking at old posters on the wall. The peace that she felt inside her old room allowed her to drop the mask and be real with herself. First place trophies, Best in class certificates, honors, and achievements filled 2 shelves. She had spent a lifetime trying to prove that she was the best. But why? Becoming the next CEO was supposed to be her dream, but no matter how hard she worked, something felt off. Shayla couldn't find rest in her achievements and wondered if they ever made her happy. The knock on the door pulled Shayla out of her thoughts. Seconds later, Kendra let herself in, holding a tray of food. Mom thought you might be hungry. She walked in and set the tray on the side table, then hesitated. Can I talk to you for a minute? I prefer not, but you're going to do it anyway. You're right. Kendra sat down in the desk chair. Everything you said about me is true. I have been selfish. I'm not like you, disciplined and focused. You had everything figured out, while I spent most of the time feeling lost. I admired you and was jealous because you set the bar for what mom and dad expected of me. That's not true. They sent you to special schools and programs, made sure you had the best opportunities. I remember he got you a personal trainer to prepare you for volleyball tryouts. They did none of that for me. I had to do everything myself. Is that what you think? Kendra laughed, but with an ounce of pain. They treated me like that because they pitied me. Girl, bye. No, I'm serious, Shayla. They were trying to get me to the level that you were on naturally, and I couldn't do it. I even heard Dad say one night that he wished I was like you. He was frustrated because he had wasted all this money on math tutors to help me pass the exam to get into the AP class, but I bombed it. It hurt because I tried, but I could never get there. So I stopped caring and took advantage of the situation, spoiling me with gifts. The dynamic duo talks were Dad's attempts at motivating me, but it was always going to be you that would take over the business. I knew I wasn't dumb, but only recently realized that my gifts lie elsewhere. I had to grow up and will always regret taking Grandma's jewelry. Knowing that I can never apologize kills me. And I'm sorry for making things difficult for you. Hopefully, one day you can forgive me, and maybe in the distant future we can be friends. Sadness swept over Shayla. Until this moment, she had never considered Kendra's feelings and had hated her because she thought her parents loved her more. What she thought was favoritism was just her parents unrealistically pressuring her sister to be someone she was not. Shayla had it all wrong. She had wanted her sister to mess up so that she herself could receive praise and validation. The only competition had existed in her mind where her self image of being the good daughter became dependent on Kendra's failures. In that moment, Shayla realized that hating her sister no longer served her. I need to show you something. Shayla got up from the bed and retrieved a lockbox from the closet, then handed it to Kendra. Inside was Grandma Kitty's emerald necklace and earrings. Kendra let out a gasp. How did you find it? Don't worry about it. The important thing is that I got them back. And honestly, I wasn't going to tell Mom and Dad because I wanted them to have a reason to continue to be mad at you. But I now realize that I was wrong too. I hated you because I saw you as competition. And I'm sorry. Kendra rushed to Shayla in tears and they embraced. And just so you know, Before she died, I told Grandma that I had gotten them back. She made me promise to forgive you. I just couldn't do it until now. Shayla felt a heavy weight lifted from her shoulders. It felt strange embracing her sister, but it also felt good. Her father was right. Her unforgiveness had kept her bound. There was so much that she had to unpack from this situation, but she was going to take her time, including understanding why she wanted to become CEO. Chasing status to outshine other people had taken its toll and was the source of her damaged relationship with her sister and parents. Becoming the next CEO was her driving force, but the way she was going about it was costing her more than she realized, including her health. These recent headaches and dizzy spells were a sign to rest and get healthy. She wasn't sure about her future or what she wanted anymore, but she was going to take time to reset and find out. Having attributes like drive and focus were great, but it was time to use them for the right reasons. Use them to find her truth. If this story spoke to you, you're not alone. Subscribe for a new uplifting story every week.